All right, I'm here at AWS reInvent, and it's day 4. We are towards the end of reInvent. Sad to say that, but we've had a lot, right? A lot of conversations. And look who I have with me. It's Colleen, Field CTO and Head of Data Strategy at Vast Data. Colleen, welcome to the Ravit Show. Colleen is not only just a colleague, but also a friend. Yeah, so Colleen, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, hi, I'm Colleen Tartow. As Ravit said, I am Field CTO and Head of Strategy at Vast Data, and I'm really excited to be here. We've had a crazy week. It's been really good talking to a lot of really exciting people and hearing lots of cool product announcements.
Awesome, I can't wait. And I know you recently, when you joined Vast Data, you also put a LinkedIn post about the most interesting data problems that happen at the biggest scales, like more data is equal to bigger challenges plus more fun.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little about that and how much fun are you having at Vast? Because I can clearly see you're super excited about what Vast is coming up with, all the innovations. Do you want to share something with the audience?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm pumped. I am having a lot of fun, to be clear. So Vast is, I like to rethink things. I like to take the paradigms that we're all used to and say, why are we doing that? And so for me, in the past, there are a lot of tools that have done that. And I think Vast is doing that very well too, which is exciting for me. So Vast said, let's not just rethink databases. Let's not just rethink, pipelines and all of that, but let's rethink everything from storage on up. And so our founders, God love them, they are storage nerds. And so they came in, and at first we started rethinking storage. And so they are very, very smart when it comes to storage, and they were able to really harness the economical capabilities of Flash and really understand how to best architect a Flash storage data lake. And so that is where we started, and now we've got all of these exciting things on top of it, including the Vast Data Store, where you can put all of your unstructured data, the Vast Database, where you can put all of your structured data, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. And then a global namespace called the Vast Data Space, and then coming next year, early next year, we have the Vast Data Engine, which will connect it all together into an incredible hybrid ecosystem that crosses the edge on-prem and into the cloud now, which is very exciting.
Okay, I can't wait. And so, as I said, y'all are innovating real quick in so many things together as well, which is great. In terms of, you mentioned about Vast Database, right? Do you want to share a little about that? Because I've been hearing a lot about that recently, so would love to hear more about it.
We've been having a lot of great conversations about that this week. So, and we just announced some cool things that are performance improvements. But basically, after rethinking the storage, we started rethinking the database, right? How can we build a database that's really optimized for the fastest storage for this all-flash data lake that we have? And so the idea is that, we have this Vast Element Store, we built it on top of that. So we built a columnar database, so it's an OLAP environment. And then it's also OLTP because it's fully ACID compliant, and you can actually use it as a transactional database as well. So rather than having the trade-off between the two, Vast is all about breaking trade-offs. So we break the trade-off between cost and performance. We break the trade-off between those two things and scalability. We say, cost, performance, scalability, pick 3. Right? So the database allows you to have the best of all worlds as well, which is really exciting. And it's scalable out to those big data scales that we love, out to many petabytes and exabytes. So.
Interesting. That brings me to another interesting question, which is around Vast. Is first of all, how is Vast reducing the data friction for data scientists and other analytics professionals? Do you have any thoughts around that?
I do. I personally feel that we copy data too much. We have too many pipelines. We're moving our data around too much. So I have like a personal mission to stop doing that, right? And I think the cloud has in some ways exacerbated that, in some ways it's made it easier. So I do think that, especially at large scales, and when we think about problems like AI and large language models, you have to really try to simplify where you can. Because, at a small scale, having an extra copy of your data is not a big deal, but at large scales with LLMs, that's costly, and both in a performance and in a price point way. And so really thinking about simplifying and looking for any efficiencies you can take in economics of scale. So I think that Vast really focuses on that, which when it trickles down to the data engineers, the data analysts, the data scientists, you end up actually affecting them in a positive way by reducing the number of pipelines, the complexity, the latency, the resilience. You increase the resiliency in the system.
Right, right. No, I love it. And in terms of, you also mentioned about a few announcements that went out this week. I'm pretty excited about that. So Vasta is really building out its cloud capabilities.
Yes.
Do you want to share a little about that?
Yeah, so we just announced our 5.0 release just came out this week. It's very exciting. And we have a lot of different capabilities that came out as part of that, one of which is a multi-cluster manager in AWS. And then we also have some cost-cutting efficiencies in AWS, which is really exciting, like a multi-protocol namespace. So basically, you can have your data in VAST, in AWS, and you can use it with multiple protocols, NFS, S3, whatever you like. And so it's really, it's another way of simplifying the data stack, right? And then we also have other announcements that came out as part of 5.0. We have an AI-driven anomaly detection piece, which is really cool. And that's part of the cluster manager that we have. We have, I can't even remember all of them, but I do know on the database side, we have audit logs going directly into the database and streaming directly into the database, which is exciting. And then we also have performance improvements that I think I mentioned earlier. We have things like semi-sorted projections and things just to make your queries just lightning fast at the biggest scale. Which is cool.
No, I love it. And in terms of, if you have many innovations and if you can't remember those, that's the best thing that you all are doing in the space, right? So if for the VAST customers, if they want to get started with VAST and with AWS, how do they do that?
Well, you go to the AWS Marketplace, you type in VAST, and you can find the VAST, it's a CFT, and you can start running it right away. It's pretty fast little wizard that walks you through. It took me about 20 minutes to set it up, and I didn't know what I was doing. So.
Oh wow, that's very cool.
Or you can, email, talk to us, go to our website.
Yeah, that's awesome. One last question for you, and I'm asking all the data leaders about this. Is since we are just around 2024, and do you have any data predictions, AI predictions, and anything that you're kind of excited about?
I have a couple things. I think the AI signal-to-noise ratio would change. Hopefully it'll increase. There's a lot, everybody's doing AI, and everybody wants to change their domains to .ai, but I think in 2024 the hype will die down, and the people who are left will be the people who are actually doing it, which I think is fun.
Right.
And I mean, I think interesting things will come out of that. And then the other thing is, I think that at the scale of large language models and the largest data problems that we're solving, sustainability is actually an interesting question, right?
Yeah.
Like the power consumption models of GPUs is significant and something organizations need to think about. And then as part of that, I think that AI cloud service providers will become more popular. So, yeah.
It's massive. I can't wait. And true, I agree. In terms of the AI and the Gen AI hype as well, it will slow down a bit, but there'll be real things that will be, coming out of it, and real players will stay there, and they'll be making it bigger for us.
Yeah,
right?
I think as we innovate, I'm excited to see what comes next, because that's just, the next step in the evolution, and I think, in the next few years we'll see even cooler things that we can't even dream of right now.
I love it, and thanks for doing this, Colleen. It is such a pleasure to host you on the Ravit Show. I know we'll have hours of sessions that we'll go about, and we'll do more of these, but you're at AWS, you all have been already so busy. I know it's day 4 and we're almost there. So,
home stretch.
Yes, awesome. Thank you very much, Colleen, for visiting the Ravit Show. It's such a pleasure to host you. Awesome.